like, hey, they're reporting on issues on Roblox. They're talking about how we could do better. And, we paid really careful attention. We looked at what they were saying. We looked at what they were reporting. And all of that went into our monitor so that we could go and identify bad actors on the platform and take them off.
If we take a look at this frame right here, your employee seems to have amputated 2 of her fingers suddenly with zero reaction at all. Now, I'm not no expert, but unless Roblox's senior director is some shape-shifting Ninja Turtle, it's impossible to believe this entire joke of a meeting wasn't AI generated. I refuse to believe a human being could sit here and pretend they're doing the Lord's handiwork for protecting predators on their platform, like the innocent children here are somehow the monsters for making these sick fucks unable to control themselves. Alright, welcome back, ladies and ladies with dicks. It's been a while since the entire Roblox versus Schlep versus Brown versus the Board of Education conflict has unfolded. Chris Hansen has joined along Schlep in the fight against Roblox, with Lawbymike also stepping in to help file a lawsuit against the company too. If you have absolutely zero idea of what I'm talking about, then allow me to give you a quick rundown. I'm not gonna sit here and explain what Roblox is. If you don't know, then click off this video, just go Amish and stack some hay at this point. But ever since the game's inception, there's been a problem brewing where predators and minor refiners alike use Roblox as a gateway chat room for them to connect to and exploit children. Since the majority of the 80 million daily active users are still children that can't even fill in the lines in their coloring book, it unfortunately became a popular destination for sick freaks to pursue potential victims. Thousands of user-generated games exist on the site, along with many of them being popular hangout spots where the sole purpose of playing it is to interact with other users that go practically unmoderated. In just 2023 alone, 13,000 accounts were flagged for being predatory or inappropriate, and since that's the only data Roblox is willing to report, that's probably only a fraction of the real number of incidents that occurred. Multiple well-known developers on Roblox have been arrested for messaging minors they met through the own games they created. Despite the game being clearly marketed towards toddlers, inappropriate maps exist on the game, like Cut the Rope Jeffrey Epstein edition and Run from Diddy Simulator. There's countless of jelly belly, candle wick nipple, neckbeard Neanderthals that inhabit the game and pose their account to be some underage girl. Ruben Sim, a very popular YouTuber known to fight against Roblox, went over this exact topic, and the accounts he came across were nothing but pure filth.
By the way, if one of these accounts has like 12 years old in the username, it's probably not 12 years old. So this vibrant community will take over innocent groups and use the members list as a sort of directory for these people to find each other. Selling fire pics on disc. Slay Bunny says, add to fill me up. Dom Buddha looking for girls and femboys to own and make my...
I mean, half of it felt like I was gonna get sent away in a SWAT van for just reading the bios out loud. Oftentimes, these diaper snipers will try to lure kids away from the game and onto more obscure platforms like Snapchat or Discord, so they can unmask their true intentions and talk to them more explicitly. There's been numerous national headlines of kids being abducted and found miles away from home with a grown man they met off Roblox. So with all this mayhem plaguing every corner, it really begs the question, what are the supersuit elites up at Roblox HQ gonna do about these semen demons infesting their game? Perhaps enforce actual human moderation instead of crippled clankers and AI run everything, because evidently that doesn't even work worth a f. Or possibly at the bare minimum, at least ban the guys that committed these crimes off the game. But after heavy consideration and urgent matters to discuss, the Roblox team stepped forwards and announced that they were adding dating to the game. And just for a little cherry on top, the maps were not even 18 plus for the longest time. The CEO of Roblox, David Baszucki, I swear somehow he looks even more reptilian than the other side. He was so adamant on keeping the server 17 plus, which is a very questionable number to fight on the front lines for, on top of the premise of dating being in Roblox to begin with. Just the other day, they watched little Timmy from Arkansas get snatched from a Walmart over 1,000 Robux, and now they're trying to add eHarmony to the platform like that's not going to lead to the problem getting worse. I mean, imagine Fortnite one day comes out and says, hey Fortnite gamers, you've been catching them dubskis, we'll drop into Lover's Lagoon and catch hot local woman in your area. You'd be absolutely mortified and disgusted. Roblox has demonstrated over hundreds of times that they put this issue on the back burner, and even though they promise their game is jolly good fun for everyone, a place where a kid can be a kid, we know by now that's the furthest thing from the truth. Since Roblox is too busy faxing their asses and gooning from the profits at Grow a Garden, the community decided to take matters into their own hands, capturing and arresting predators through their own accord. And one of the people that gained notoriety for doing doing this is a YouTuber going by the name of Schlep. Tragically, when he was younger, he was also sadly taken advantage of and exploited by somebody he met off Roblox. So he experienced the same story many young users are unfortunately telling today. When he got older, he made it his destiny to prevent other kids from suffering the same fate. And with the help of law enforcement, he managed to throw 6 predators into the slammer. And when he tries to contact Roblox to help get the account banned, he's met with utter silence. They turn around, spread their cheeks, and fart on anything people tried to hand them until they finally broke their silence a couple weeks ago by sending Schlep a cease and desist letter, claiming Schlep was actually the one hurting this game the whole time, not the deranged freaks he caught, completely banning him from ever accessing Roblox again, along with saying he's practically dangling carrots above the Preds' heads and trapping them into committing a crime when they are the ones who literally initiate every sexual conversation to begin with. Schlep just exists there in the server. The predators are the ones who come up to him.
In the last year, me and my team have gotten 6 predators arrested within the Roblox community. Almost all of them have admitted to doing this before to other Roblox users. Roblox is claiming that I'm engaging in simulated child endangerment conversations. What? So one of the fundamental bases of predator catching is that you cannot talk sexually to predators. Predators are supposed to be the ones talking sexually to you. If you talk sexually to predators like straight off the get-go, that's entrapment. That is literally what entrapment is. We almost always play a naive kid who doesn't know anything about this stuff, so they teach us about this stuff. If you've watched these videos, you know how the chats are going, and they're not even on Roblox. Most of the chat logs are on Discord, and they're accusing me of getting people off of platform onto different social media sites. I guess that's worth a cease and desist and an IP ban of every single account that I own.
I mean, they're already arrested. It's pretty obvious Schlep and his team aren't a vigilante group going around putting belt to ass to everyone they encounter. The screenshots, chat logs, pictures of the Preds' limp 1-inch shrimp are all compiled together and sent to the police for evidence. There's absolutely no foul play, everything gets handled by the book, yet this billion-dollar company wants to come out and say, well, luring potential felons away from our game is hurting the business. These precious Preds are keeping our lights on and water pumping. We couldn't possibly get rid of them. What about the hundreds of innocent kids that get scarred for life every day by the very same people Schlep is trying to stop? It's all backwards and makes zero sense, and if you thought reasons like simulating real conversations and luring them off platforms was delusional, they would also try claiming directly in the cease and desist itself that Schlep never reported the information to Roblox, or just didn't do it quick enough, which is utter bullshit. Schlep's first priority is reporting these freaks to get them booted off the game, but due to the lack of care the company has towards children, there's no proper channels to report any of this information to. He even shows the full process of attempting to file a report, including giving Roblox the same exact Google Drive they provided to officers, but it all falls on deaf ears. The only time they actually step up and take action is when Schlep uploads a viral video that garnishes millions of views. That's when Captain David will throw on a cape and pretend to play the hero for finally banning a player that's already been getting pegged in jail for the last 3 months.
Back to the predator catching stuff, this is literally how it goes. We go to roblox.com/support, submit a moderation ticket, and then fill out the prompt with all the information regarding our arrest and give you guys the same Google Drive that we give to the cops. And in a lot of instances, Roblox won't even ban after we reach out to them regarding felony arrests. What I typically have to do is report cases to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or go on the news to show gameplay of our decoys with the predators on Roblox. I've literally felt so lost at trying to get the attention of Roblox regarding these predators. I've created binders with all the chat logs, and I've sent it to their headquarters in San Mateo, California. This is the first time Roblox has ever directly reached me out. Instead of trying to say, hey, we want to work with you, or literally giving me a line to report these people, or simply saying, don't make these videos anymore, we're gonna ban you, Roblox just terminated every account I own.
This weirdly reminds me of Man Ray trying to give Patrick his wallet back. Schlep dropped binders worth of evidence right into the HQ's mailbox, and they're treating it like this guy just delivered them a pipe bomb. As a corporation, how do you not see a major flaw in social resources when the only time you acknowledge people's cries for help is when they deliver it to your front doorstep? You make it near impossible for people to contact you, and when they finally take desperate measures into getting your attention, you just attack them like a rabid dog. Schlep would go on to explain how he tried publicly tweeting at David about rebanning a predator that Roblox reluctantly banned already. Took a lot of convincing from Schlep's viral video, but I guess out of the kindness of their hearts, Roblox couldn't help but let him roam back into the wild. It's like they saw this kid diddler as a beautiful butterfly that was being trapped in a cage and they just had to set him free.
Last time I tweeted at Roblox's CEO, it was about a predator we had arrested. Roblox ignored it until Gideon and I made videos. then they banned him, only for him to return. I sent proof of him talking about the video I made on him in a voice chat game on Roblox. Mind you, the same game, a 10-year-old was abducted through weeks from this taking place. I replied to one of the CEO's posts about this, and he blocked me.
What other stance does Roblox have besides protecting Coco felons? It's easier than Sunday morning to press a button and ban somebody who has already been causing harm to multiple different users, plus majority of the Preds Schlep has caught end up possessing Club Penguin on their phone or some other device. So why even put a sprinkle of effort of keeping these low-level gray loot subspecies of people on your platform? Because doing this has infinitely hurt Roblox way more than simply taking in some of the last people that were willing to offer help.
I really hope people can see that Roblox is wanting to have a firmer stance against me, a person trying to get these Roblox predators arrested, than these predators we've gotten arrested. Some of them literally have been arrested for Why aren't you sending these Roblox predators cease and desist? They deserve it. They actually tried to commit a crime.
Hey, what's up? So we're here with your Roblox developer, right? Hello. Yep. We're about to do the wipe on his phone. We're going to get rid of the on your phone, right? Okay. How many images do you think we have to get rid of on your phone?
About like 30 or 40.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
And what's the game coming out that you got on Roblox soon?
Undertale. Endless.
Hell yeah, we're gonna make this game successful.
After publishing this video, Schlep would go on to amass over 5 million views, which instantly created an online movement, prompting hundreds of creators on and off the Roblox scene to protest against the company's behavior, along with helping donate to Schlep so they can assist him with any potential legal fees he might receive in the future. Multiple different YouTubers that were partnered and being paid through the game, like Creekcraft, immediately announced they were leaving any program that was remotely even related to Roblox. Hashtag Free Schlep began trending on every social media you can think of, leading to millions of parents and kids alike to uncover the horrors that the company was trying so desperately to hide. The situation gained so much notoriety, even members of Congress called out the billion-dollar corporation, pleading for an immediate change. The Attorney General of Louisiana even filed a lawsuit against the company for prioritizing profits over kids' safety. And after a few days of people rioting and raising their pitchforks, Roblox finally responded to all the public backlash by standing 10 toes down, defending their honor of housing predators on their platform like they're running some digital version of Miracle Village. They would not only double or triple but quadruple down throughout multiple different statements that Schlep absolutely deserved to be banished to the 9 rings of hell for even thinking he was helping the elite soldiers who work at Roblox. They try labeling him as a vigilante again and again as if it's some sort of slur, when we obviously know by now that he never handled a single case without law enforcement being present. I mean, this is making Black Mirror feel like a documentary. Unless everybody at the office is simultaneously ODing off Xans, I can't possibly see how one person there couldn't have the light bulb go off in their head to realize Schlep's work was a good thing for Roblox instead of acting like he committed some sort of hate crime. If we take a look at Roblox's official statement, they step up to the mic and say it wasn't only right but absolutely necessary to erase every vigilante group that's ever existed on their game, even though they acknowledge that what they did was the right thing. Here they say, while seemingly well-intentioned, the vigilantes we've banned have taken actions that are both unacceptable and created an unsafe environment for users. Similar to actual predators, they often impersonated minors, actively approached other users, then tried to lead them onto other platforms to have sexual conversations.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about? What the fuck was that?
Yeah, these peaceful Preds were minding their own business, kidnapping and shit, until Schlep came in and ruined all the fun. Like, what are we even saying right now, Roblox? That you're supposed to catch predators by pretending to be an adult? The entire point is to disguise yourself to be underage so the person can believe they are knowingly committing a crime. If not, it would just be 2 adults having a consensual freak-off. Plus that last sentence, why do you have such a monstrous rage boner towards YouTubers leading Preds off the platform, but not the Preds who lure thousands of kids off to Snapchat and Discord every day? Like, where's their ban? Why is that nowhere to be heard of? Roblox goes on to talk about their non-existent reporting system and how it's the greatest advancement in technology since the invention of the microwave. So effective, in fact, that Schlep's work was basically rendered useless to them, which is such an outrageous lie. The entire reason he created his channel was over Roblox failing to do their job and listen to his reports.
We realize that no platform is perfect, but we prioritize trust and safety because it's core to what we do as a company. This is an area where we invest heavily and are always innovating.
Yeah, nothing screams child safety like adding dating to your game. There's zero priority in providing trust to users when you threaten legal action against someone that was trying to offer solutions to the problem that you've been ignoring for many years now. Every day on Roblox, an average of 111.8 million daily active users send 6.1 billion chat messages and engage in 1.1 million hours of voice chat across 28 different languages. So now Roblox is trying to have a tiny titty pity committee wanting our sympathy for not being able to reach every report since there's millions flooding in every hour. Cool, that's understandable. What is not is shooting the messenger here and pissing on his face for trying to offer you assistance when you could have avoided any bad press by collabing with Schlep or taking him under your wing. Instead, your ego gets crushed and you get jealous that a single man managed to do a better job than your entire corporation ever could. They even got as petty as banning fan-made games people made in support of Schlep. Anything with hashtag free Schlep in the title would get sniped off the game within 10 minutes. Following this statement, Roblox released a 40-minute seminar that honestly looks like they just generated what they typed in the recent announcement in the ChatGPT, because the whole video, all the CEOs behaved so eerie and unsettling. It felt like I was watching a bunch of Aquilians from Men in Black pretending to be human.
So we open sourced our voice moderation model last year. And just recently, we open sourced a new model that helps with the detection of grooming and other types of harms that evolve over a long period of time.
Take whatever model you built and burn it behind a dumpster because it ain't working. They would also try to sneak diss Schlep. They again address him as just a vigilante and even acknowledge that his efforts and intentions were good, but they still for whatever reason are so disgusted that Schlep pretended to be a child to catch these people. They even try saying he was harassing adults on the game for days on end to get them to talk to a kid.
And we have members of the community in these vigilante groups that started off in a really good place. They started off by saying like, hey, they're reporting on issues on Roblox. They're talking about how we could do better. And, you know, we paid really careful attention. But then we saw something change. What we saw is that some of these groups started engaging with the community in ways that violated our policies. They would go and create accounts on Roblox claiming to be a child. And then they would enter into game servers and they would go and start asking everybody around them, how old are you? And they were seeking out adults. If you said that you were 12 or you said you were 7, they would just move on. But if you said that you were 25, then they would start engaging in conversations and they would try and use those conversations to simulate.
Matt, is this anecdotal? Because I know we have.
And then they were using that activity that happened on other platforms to create situations that they would then video, they would report to the police, and then only after would they let Roblox know.
Is this nigga serious?
What vile villains. They decided to report a criminal to the police instead of Roblox. First of all, Schlep has tried everything in his power to get your attention. You just never had a care in the world to respond. Secondly, he has never in his life went around chasing adults trying to deceive them into committing a felony. All of the predators he encountered initiated every conversation to somebody they thought was underage. Plus, if Schlep was this charismatic con man that somehow tricked people into talking to children, why does he have 6 official public arrests? Are they all just a bunch of fall guys Schlep threw under the bus just so he can make his YouTube videos? I swear having 6 DUIs and an IQ score of 50 has to be a requirement to even work at this establishment. Not long after this abysmal response, Schlep would go on to upload his second installment in the fight against Roblox, featuring this time the most seasoned pred buster in all the lands, Chris Hansen, a name that almost brings tears to my eyes. The last time Chris was mentioned on this channel was over 3 years ago when I used to make a video on TCAP every other week. If my page was Netflix, TCAP used to be the Stranger Things of my channel, until YouTube also suddenly took a problem to people covering preds. You know, I'm starting to notice a pattern here. But schizo ran aside, the news about Schlep became so widespread it caught the eyes of Chris Hansen, who coincidentally was already creating a Roblox documentary about the depraved and degenerate behaviors that the game promotes. He was investigating multiple different cases of grooming reports that spawned from Roblox, and along the way he uncovered Schlep's entire ordeal along with the horrible treatment he's been receiving. So the two hopped on a call together to discuss why Roblox's brand new policies are a load of shit and why tactics like using decoys or I don't know, reporting it to the police is necessary to put these monsters away, with somebody that's been professionally doing it for over 30 years.
I'm Chris Hansen. I'm co-founder and correspondent reporter for the True Blue Streaming Crime Network. We do a lot of crime and investigative reporting. Our Takedown series, which exposes predators trying to exploit children online. And we also work on a number of documentaries, including this particular project, exposing the sort of thing that goes on Roblox.
I wanted to ask you about some of the comments that Roblox has specifically stated about like predator catching. One of the main complaints is pretending to be a child. I want to know your answer. It's kind of obvious, but the importance of using decoy accounts to just find different predators.
We couldn't do it without using decoy accounts. In the very beginning, we had an online watchdog group, Perverted Justice, do that work, and now, and for the last several years, it's been members of law enforcement who have posed as children online, merely sitting in one of these areas, and they wait to be approached by somebody who is seeking to exploit children.
Yeah, Roblox, how about you send them coppers down at the station to cease and desist while you're at it? They could have possibly used a decoy on your platform. For the 100th time, you can't catch a predator pretending to be an adult. That's like trying to catch a fish by swimming in the water and pretending to be a worm. It's the most simple thing to open the door that Schlep has been banging on for years and actually take his operation seriously instead of writing him off as a useless peasant.
I understand that anytime somebody is not with law enforcement, it gives pause to a corporation. It's like, okay, here's this kid. We don't know whether he's following the rules properly. We don't know if he's running this by a lawyer. Maybe you could argue that they just don't want that sort of activity on their platform, but you'd think they'd be more worried about the activity that you're exposing.
That's what I've been trying to get at this whole time.
Let's worry about that, number one, and then you can have a conversation with young Schlep. I mean, if I were the CEO of Roblox, I would make you an ambassador for security. I would get out in front of this thing and do what would be a fantastic promotional move. I'm a little dumbfounded that they haven't figured it out, given that these guys are in the high-tech world who invented this stuff in some ways. Why don't they get ahead of it and get a young guy on their team?
Exactly. Could have had somebody actually innovate your systems instead of pushing up your glasses and writing a 5-page manifesto about how your AI is more secure than the Pentagon. This company is putting so much effort to literally sit on their ass and do nothing, when in reality they could have almost continued to do nothing. All it took was the bare minimum of indefinitely banning predators from ever returning from Roblox. What is so hard to understand? Everything else is already being handled by the law, so it doesn't break a sweat. You know the story of what the user is capable of since he's already rotting behind a jail cell. So swivel your fat, sweaty ass over to the keyboard and remove the guys that openly commit crimes on your game.
Yes, okay, how old are you? I ask him back how old he is, and he says he's older than 18. I tell him I'm years old. Do you mind me being younger? No, not really. If you can keep it a secret between us, though.
The two would continue to talk about their experiences working on sting operations and why Roblox's hate campaign towards Schlep is only making their business look atrocious. So out of curiosity, Schlep would ask Chris if he dealt with anything similar involving a social media platform retaliating and going completely apeshit over somebody removing a predator on their site, to which of course he said no. Matter of fact, he never reached out to any platform before conducting his sting operations because no company would question somebody who successfully arrested bad apples on their platform from continuing their business.
One of the major complaints that Roblox had about me was that I was actually going to law enforcement first before sending their report, just so that they would have a start to finish conversation of everything that took place. Did you guys ever reach out to social media sites before the sting goes down?
No, we always go to law enforcement. We work with law enforcement in everything we do. And that is to ensure a successful prosecution. That's why the prosecution rate in these states is, like 99.1%. It's law enforcement first, then they can deal with the corporation. The corporation should be more concerned about reporting what it finds to law enforcement to investigate.
I mean, who else are we supposed to call? The fucking Ghostbusters? You ball up every report that pops out of your printer and copy it into a trash can. When Schlep's family tried giving you information about his own sex case that led him to develop severe depression, you ghosted him for years before finally doing something about punishing the man responsible. What purpose or benefit would anyone have telling you a single piece of info when talking to your corporation has about the same effect as talking to a brick wall? I understand Roblox has reported predatory people to the authorities in the past, but as of lately it seems like you've been letting so many cases slip by and then you lie by telling the world you're tirelessly working to combat this issue when that's the furthest thing from the truth.
It makes me concerned because if we're getting that, what are real victims getting?
Look, I understand a little bit Roblox situation here. What they're trying to do is follow the protocol. When they see something, they're mandated to report that to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which then refers it to law enforcement. And that's good, and they should be doing that. But why they wouldn't also take advantage of information given to them, wrapped with a bow around it, as you have done, it's stunning to me that they wouldn't see the opportunity here to be an ally of yours as opposed to somebody who they're making an example of and saying you're breaking the rules, banning you. I don't understand that. From a corporate citizen aspect, it doesn't make sense. From a public relations standpoint, it doesn't make sense. And from a justice-seeking standpoint, it doesn't make sense. So I don't know.
It is very ironic considering the fact Dobby Kaufman was secretly pillow-talking in Schlep's ear this whole time, requesting they have a conversation in private about platform safety, along with suddenly wanting him back in the Roblox community now, which is a complete 180 from what they've been telling us. I mean, every policy statement, response video, and news interview I ever seen, Matt has completely condemned any of Schlep's actions and tried his hardest to paint the man to be a villain, all while he was casually hitting up his DMs thinking shit was sweet. Crazy part is, Matt didn't even advise or send a notice to Schlep's lawyers that he was trying to contact him. I guess after preaching about reporting to the proper channels, you would think to talk to the lawyers of somebody you're suing before reaching the client themselves. I mean, Roblox's IQ is lower than their age preference, but obviously this led to Schlep's legal team being flooded with rage. They immediately fired back a response that exposed Matt for being a pussy in layman's terms and called his little so-called private truce one big PR stunt. Schlep's legal team started out with their response, quote, Roblox Chief Safety Officer Matt Kaufman contacted Schlep directly late last month, soliciting a conversation about platform safety and how the company might keep Schlep active in the Roblox community. If Roblox is sincerely interested in a constructive conversation about platform safety, we are open to engaging in such dialogue, provided it is not conducted in a context where our client is simultaneously being threatened, publicly maligned, and privately courted without notice to his legal representatives. Critically, any such discussion must also address how Roblox intends to become accountable to the hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals who have been exposed to grooming, exploitation, and other predatory stuff as a result from using the platform. That's something they still hardly address. They'll go on TED Talks about Schlep and why he's bad, but when it comes to the thousands of victims being abused on your game daily, you won't even utter a whisper. So with the tensions climbing to an all-time high, Gotham started shining the famous signal up in the sky, hoping for one hero to emerge from the shadows to finally spread Roblox's ass apart and deliver them the fist of justice they desperately deserve. And that hero is Lawbymike, a popular YouTuber with over 15 million subscribers, and he's a former lawyer that worked in the field for over a decade. So if there's anybody more qualified to talk about the legality of what Roblox is doing, it's going to be Mike. And he would set up an interview with Schlep and even his lawyer to gather insight before uploading a video announcing on behalf of all users he is suing Roblox and requesting for victims to contact him and provide evidence/information that could pressure the creeps at Roblox to finally put the spotlight on keeping kids safe instead of trying to have them date.
People everywhere are furious with Roblox, and now they're getting sued. The platform promised to be safe, but the reality is very different. So today, I'm breaking down the entire case, even meeting with some of the biggest YouTubers. And then, on behalf of everyone, I'm helping to sue Roblox. Since 2018, police have arrested at least 24 people accused of misusing Roblox to contact young users and move chats off platform. Some had prior records. Others were people in trusted roles, like teachers, nurses, even a cop.
Ex-cop and a diddler? Yeah, that guy has to be like the Bonnie Blue of the prison yard. Anyways, public pressure is the only thing that ever convinces them to make a change. So somebody with a huge online presence like Mike is exactly what's needed for Roblox to start pissing themselves due to more and more people uncovering what they're desperately trying to silence.
Now, Schlep, did you expect your videos to get as much attention as they did?
Honestly, no. My whole goal with these videos was actually just to bring this to the attention of Roblox. Like, I wanted Roblox to see what was going on because I was reporting these communities to Roblox. I was making reports on a lot of these people. Nothing was happening. And the only other thing you can do is go public with it. So that's what I did.
But the story doesn't end there. Schlep just announced he's suing Roblox, not over the ban, but over the damage he says he suffered years ago from a developer on the platform. His lawyer confirmed he's also representing many others with similar stories.
We have over 800 cases involving sex abuse. These are personal injury claims. So survivors are coming forward because of the personal injuries and the trauma they experienced.
You know what would possibly fix that? Hiring more moderators. One of those 800 cases could have been prevented if more people were on the server actually watching the community. It's estimated Roblox allegedly only has around a few thousand moderators on their payroll, which is ridiculously low considering the game recently broke world records for having the most concurrent players ever. 47 million people were on Roblox playing at the same time. So having a few thousand mods trying to crowd control that many people was like the equivalent of them Target employees who got trampled as soon as they opened the doors on Black Friday. If they were to invest just a little more money into recruiting more people to police the platform instead of the community itself, a lot of these victims could have had their situation prevented or at the very least receive justice and have the culprits punished.
For starters, Roblox has hosted many games with questionable themes, including Run from Diddy Simulator, Shower Simulator, and Bloody Battles. The fact that these games even existed undercuts Roblox's claim of being a safe, moderated place. But it's not just the games that are concerning. Roblox is now the go-to social platform for younger audiences. 78 million users log in every day. The platform processes more than 50,000 chat messages every second. Roblox claims its AI and human reviewers scan all of it, text, audio, and images. But here's the problem. The company allegedly employs only about 3,000 moderators. Compare that to TikTok, roughly 3 times Roblox's daily users, but over 13 times the number of moderators on staff. The reason for the lack of moderators is allegedly due to Roblox's focus on growth over safety.
Wow, a billionaire that cares more about money than people. Never seen that one before. I hate to say it, but Reddit even has better moderators than this shithole. Yep, the fedora-tipping 400-pound gooners that have every square inch of their walls covered with ReZero posters do a more admirable job than Roblox ever could. If we use their peak online count of 47 million players and divided that up between the 3,000 moderators, that would mean for every 15,000 people there was only one mod overseeing all of them, which is physically impossible unless you're fucking Batman.
Most platforms lean on a law called Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, and that law protects websites and apps from being sued over what their users post. That's why Instagram or YouTube don't get dragged into court every time someone uploads something harmful. But the lawsuits against Roblox aren't just about what users post. They're about the company itself. Lawyers argue Roblox designed the platform in risky ways, marketed it as safe, and then ignored clear warning signs. And at least one court has already said Section 230 doesn't cover misrepresentation. So if Roblox tells parents this is safe and it's not, that responsibility falls on Roblox, not the users.
You hear that, David? The sound of accountability? It hurts, doesn't it? For the first time in years, you actually have to use your brain and make a verdict that's human, instead of sitting in the high chair and relying on robots to spoon feed you every decision you make in life. You're being sued because your entire business model of being a digital playground that parents should let their kids wander around on is incredibly misleading. Quickly after Lawbymike's video, the news started going viral everywhere again, with his upload gaining over 14 million views in just under a few short weeks. Roblox's stock market pretty much had a whole 2008 financial crisis, with them losing over $12 billion in company stock, just for them to gain it all right back a couple weeks later. This game is infecting kids like the Solanum virus off of World War Z. Roblox has users that sell their TV and mom's jewelry just so they can get their hands on some Robux. There's no stopping the influx of players that are coming into the game each and every day, but what can be stopped is Roblox lying directly to our faces about being these ultimate protectors of children who keep everybody safe. They fumbled the easiest opportunity that could have prevented this entire drama from unfolding by refusing to collab with Schlep. They saw him as a nobody, and now he's leading a movement that ruined Roblox's reputation forever. At the time that I'm recording this, the situation is only getting worse and Roblox is getting stupider. Just recently, the VP of Civility tried claiming that all the negative press was from events that happened 5 years ago. Don't know what parallel timeline she's living on, because all of Schlep's videos were just from the past year alone, so they're still doubling down, standing firm on keeping predators on their platform. But I feel like once more powerful people like Congress or attorney generals actually follow through with their word on pursuing Roblox, they'll be changing their stances and attitudes pretty quickly. With that being said, I think that wraps the video up here. If there's any parents watching this, it really doesn't hurt to pay more attention to what kind of people and servers your child interacts with on Roblox. It's obvious they couldn't have two shits to give about you or anything that doesn't involve a Robux transaction. If you guys enjoyed me covering this whole story that's unfolding, make sure to slap a like on this video before your dad slaps you. Subscribe if you hit my vibe, and as always, make sure to follow me on all my other socials, especially my Instagram. I know the world falling apart, but I got some new fire-ass fit pics, I can't lie. I really love you guys. I won't speak much besides showing out for the next video, which will most likely be on that singer named David. Honestly, such a strange rabbit hole to go down, so I'll be hot on the case and deliver you all that really soon. Alright, I'ma head out this bitch.